Hello Duelist, you will never guess what hand trap didn't make my top 5. Now, the top 5 hand traps of the format based off the regionals last weekend, the 26th, the 27th, and you know how impactful these will be going into Brazil, what hand traps I expect to see in Brazil in the top cut, especially considering they're going to be playing out their top cut rather than Swiss at a regionals, and we'll be using Sebito's 360's spreadsheet that I found from Josh's channel to justify my opinions. This spreadsheet is great, I love it, and I feel like we noticed significant changes from the 19th to 20th to now week 3 of regionals. So I am very excited. So number 5 we have Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is basically just because it negates a card. It's pretty good. It's kind of worse than number 4. It's good versus all the rogue decks and generic decks. Let's get into what it's not good against. So I wouldn't say Effect Veiler is good against 2 of the top 4 decks, so it's not very good versus Unchained. Unchained is actually really good at dodging hand traps because they can quick effect destroy, so if you go Effect Veiler on Tour Guide, they can kind of just destroy their Tour Guide with their quick effect in hand of the Unchained monster, and then Tour Guide will resolve because it's in the graveyard. Pearly it is also not good against. Most people that play Pearly play 3 field spell. I know I just saw one that played 2, but Pearly is really good at dodging cards like Effect Veiler, Imperm, Moonlight. So I'm not really going to waste your time here. Number 4 is Moonlight Chill. Number 3 is Imperm. We're not going to just explain 3 cards that do the exact same thing. Obviously, Imperm's the best one unless you're playing Pearly and you want to draw if you're sleepy. Then Imperm might not be as good. But for the most part, Imperm's going to be the best. It's still pretty good versus Kashtira. It's alright versus Rescue Ace, you know, and it's good versus all these random decks that we see here. Pretty much every single one of them I would want Imperm against, you know, like Flu, Trap Tricks, Tear Lament. Yeah, Imperm's a nice card. Now, number 2. Number 2 is a new one. It's like every format, I swear to God, every format, it's the exact same thing that happens. And yeah, I guess it's like, I don't think it's going to happen, but then it's because, like, you know, a deck like Unchained comes out that just kind of takes advantage of the fact that people aren't really playing around it. So the card is Nibiru. Now Nibiru is in the top, is number 2 because I think it actually has a really good matchup against some of these decks. So versus Kashtira and Unchained, for example, they're the 2 most top decks, and I definitely think people are playing Unchained more than Rescue Ace right now, even though Rescue Ace is very good. But Rescue Ace can link climb too. They can even play that Gizmek Lonefire Blossom, so there's a chance you can Nibiru them as well. And even Pearly, there's a chance you can Nibiru some players, even though I think that's so rare. And even when you do, sometimes it's not good. There's also, you know, rogue decks like Dragon Link that Nibiru is really good against. Even Exo Sister, you can get away with getting a Nibiru off on them, and we see that's at 6.7. So, you know, Nibiru is actually just a really good card. Manadium isn't on this list, and that's why, you know, I don't have Droll and Lockbeard on this list. So Manadium was like supposed to be like the scariest deck. It goes Calamity, just like Punk. People are, you know, reminiscing with Punk. But when we see these decks and we think about, like, what is Troll good against? You know, it was always kind of gambly versus Kashtira. It's also kind of gambly versus Rescue Ace. They're kind of just adding their 1 card, then they're setting their 4. Sometimes they will add 2 cards. And Unchained, it's literally just a neg 1. Versus Manadium, even versus Manadium, it's like they play 3 Designator, like 3 talents called by, and I've literally at the regional, I go Droll, this dude goes Designator, Droll, talents, my Droll was a neg 1. Like, and half the other time it's a neg 1 anyway, so like this card just sucks. It always just ends up not being a good card. I love Floodgates, right? I don't love them. I don't love playing against them, but I love Floodgates against my opponent. Like, that's broken. So we always want Droll to be so good, but it really just isn't that good. And I think we see that. I think I saw some Pearly lists cutting it, and that's like the list I feel like you would want it most with the Sleepy, just because it's like, as long as your opponent's not adding cards, we have enough interruptions, we would think. So that's why it's at number 2. And then Number 1 is going to be Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's just kind of good all around. It does something versus all of these decks. Usually I'm saving it for the emergency versus Rescue Ace. Usually I'm saving it to bait my opponent. When they're playing Pearly, I won't use it on the continuous spell. I'll use it on the quick play spell, just in case they want to get greedy. Maybe they summon a White Cat later, and then they add Field Spell off the White Cat instead of a quick play, because they think that I don't have Ash because I didn't use it on the continuous spell. So because they don't think I have Ash, Ash is even more powerful. I think Ash is one of those cards right now where, depending on how you use it, it can just be so broken. Obviously versus Unchained, it stops a Lone Fire Blossom, and then versus Kashtira, it just stops something. It's usually like as good as Imperm, pretty much, versus Kashtira. Actually, I take that back, because Imperm is so broken versus Kashtira, because if you save it for the Rise Heart, when they're doing their, summon Unicorn, summon Fenrir, overlay Shangri-La, then use Rise Heart, that's when you Imperm it, and now they're stuck with a level 4 and a Shangri-La, and, they're looking like a bozo. So, that is my top 5 hand traps. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Do you think Droll should have been above, like, Effect Veiler or Moonlight? I just don't see it being that great of a card if Vanadium's not a deck. I mean, obviously it has its place. It can get better, but I think Droll's just not that good right now.